Hey guys, how's it going? I'm not in India anymore, that's for sure. This is beautiful Northern California, Mendocino County. As you can see, nice and green. It is, I think, the second day of spring, and we got some rain here. Things are looking pretty beautiful. And so I just got back a few days ago from India. If you've been following my channel here, then you'll know that I just spent 6 weeks traveling in India. Had an amazing time. That was my 7th trip to India, so I've been there a lot, experienced it a lot, have a pretty good knowledge and understanding of the places to go and what to expect when you get there, and that is one of the purposes of this video. Now, coming up is going to be some new footage from my India journey that you haven't seen yet. It is from the town of Tiruvannamalai, which is in Tamil Nadu in South India. But I decided to do something a little bit different with this video. It was just going to be like a tour of Tiruvannamalai, exploring Tiruvannamalai, and you will be learning more about Tiruvannamalai itself coming up. But after shooting the footage, then I thought this would be a good opportunity to show and explain another side and experience of traveling in India that you may not have really fully grasped from my previous videos. So in the course of my 6 weeks to India this time, then I went to a couple of places in Goa, then to Gokarna in Karnataka state, which is also over on the Arabian Sea, so those are all beach destinations. And then I went over to Hampi, which is an amazing area of temple ruins in a desert-like setting. And then you saw perhaps my video from Pondicherry, which is over on the other side of India on the Bay of Bengal, and my tour of Oroville. And so, having seen those videos, then you may have gotten the impression that India is pretty clean-ish and fairly peaceful and mellow and not too much hassle and stuff like that. And that is a completely skewed perspective on India, because that is not what India is really like, as far as like 99% of the actual country, and being there as a traveler beyond the main tourist spots. A lot of people, go to India and they just go to Goa, or they just go to Rishikesh or Dharamsala, or some of the other places that are frequented by tourists. And it's understandable, because the reality of India is very different from those few little spots that people tend to go to that are, more well-maintained, better managed, have tourist dollars flowing into them, and so they can afford to do some more cleanup, and there's more money there going to the guest houses and everything. The reality of India is that it is very intense, very polluted, very garbage strewn, very chaotic, very noisy, very smelly throughout India. Now, even in, for example, Bangalore, which is where I flew out of, and I will be telling some stories from there because I didn't actually film anything there. But even in Bangalore, which is like the high-tech capital of India, lots of money there, and yet walking around the city, then there are, huge holes in the sidewalk, or big piles of, sand or rubble. You have to go into the street to get around various things. There's still garbage around. As all Indian cities are, it's very noisy, very intense, lots of vehicles, lots of people, a lot going on, and it is not a walk in the park, as they say. So the point of this video is to give you a another perspective on India and what you actually come across. Now, to be clear, what you're going to be seeing in the course of this video is not like the most intense of India. Like, simply, it is a more extreme place, because it is not a touristy spot than the other places that I went to, and so you get more of a taste of the real India even though this is actually a fairly mellow little village, considered a spiritual town, but it is not all that frequented by tourists. So I'm continuing now with my footage from that day exploring in Tiruvannamalai, and I will be jumping in here a couple of other times to fill in some gaps. So here we go, back to India, Tiruvannamalai. Hey guys, I'm here in Tiruvannamalai in the state of Tamil Nadu, South India. I'm hiking up there. Mount Arunachala, sacred mountain. Arunachala? Okay, thank you. All right, hopefully this is indeed the way to get up on the mountain, get away from the noise of the city. Okay, here we have a sign. Virupakshi Cave, Mountain Way. Looks good. Definitely getting a taste of the real India here. And no, it does not smell good. And there are a lot of dogs around, which I'm not too happy about. Hello. 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 Arunachala? Okay, thank you. This is India, folks. It is not always a pretty sight, that's for sure. Wow. I'm not even sure, guess I'll try this way. A little bit of a change of scene from what I've been showing in my previous videos of the past month in India. Here we go, another stray dog in really bad shape. Oh man, this is not really what I had in mind for today. So the deal is, I've heard about Tiruvannamalai before as being a spiritual vortex point, kind of. It is where the Hindu spiritual teacher Sri Ramana Maharshi, if I'm getting that right, lived. It kind of has a reputation as being a focal point for Hindu pilgrims that come here and do a walk around the mountain, which I don't think I'll end up doing myself. It's like 15 kilometers, I think, something. And so I've been curious to go here for a while. I wanted to go to at least one place that I hadn't already been before on this trip, because all the other places that I went to, I'd been to before. But hello, hello, up the mountain. It's okay. Yes. Up. Oh no, guide. I just go walking. Yeah. It's okay. This way.
Route.
This way is okay?
Yes.
Okay. All right, so after that little encounter there, I had turned off my camera and then continued hiking up those steps there. And I continued recording using the camera that I'm using right now, my ICONNTECHS camera. But the battery died on it in the middle of shooting that clip, and most of it did not end up getting recorded. And I hadn't brought extra batteries for that camera. So I'm going to fill in a little bit here of what I was talking about, continuing with what I was saying about Tiruvannamalai, which is that it is somewhere that I've been curious to go for a number of years, having heard about it. I didn't know exactly what to expect there, but I knew that it was a spiritual destination. I kind of thought it might, be a little bit of a similar experience to like Rishikesh, which is up in the north, and it's a big yoga hotspot. But when I got there, then I was disappointed, you could say, being the place that Sri Ramana Maharshi lived and meditated in the early 20th century. And you will be seeing the cave where he meditated in just a second here. But in the course of walking up that hill there, first of all, there was all that garbage that you saw. And this is on the way to, a renowned spiritual teacher, the cave where he meditated. And so this is like a, destination path, not some totally random, out of the way spot. This is where, people are likely to go when they go to Tiruvannamalai, is up this path that I was hiking up, and yet it feels literally like you're walking through a garbage dump. And as I mentioned, there were a lot of dogs, and I ended up having a encounter with a dog on the way up there that started barking at me aggressively and coming towards me. Now, fortunately, I had rocks in my pocket because I'd been seeing so many dogs. I'd had a couple of encounters just a couple days earlier, and I will be explaining that story in another video, because that was a whole crazy day. And literally 2 packs of dogs, 2 separate occasions in bus stations, saw me. Obviously I stood out as a weird, person to them, and they all like jumped up and started chasing after me, and I had to like make a move to get out of the way. 2 completely separate incidences in different places. And so I was sketched out about the dogs, and so I had rocks in my pocket there. So I come up the path, and this dog is barking at me like crazy, and so I had to pull out a rock and throw it at him to get him to go away. There were a lot of monkeys around, jumping from the trees and stuff. The rhesus monkeys, which can be potentially aggressive, even though mostly they aren't, but still it was not, quite what I had in mind for coming to this town, where you can hike around and find different caves other than the one that you're going to see in just a second. I couldn't actually go fully inside because filming was not allowed, but you will at least get a little taste of it there. But the reality was that I didn't feel all that comfortable hiking around there, so I just went up to the cave. I had my GoPro camera with me, and so I took out the GoPro and continued filming from there. So back to Tiruvannamalai, in which you are going to see where Sri Ramana Maharshi meditated in a cave for 17 years. Hello. Okay, we have here the Mango Tree Cave. Somewhere over there, I guess. We got some monkeys. Oh, great. Here I am at the Virupaksha Cave. So that was kind of cool. I just went inside the little cave where Ramana Maharshi stayed, meditated for 17 years. I don't really know the whole, story on that exactly. I'm sure he wasn't like in there nonstop or anything. You weren't supposed to film inside there, so I didn't get a shot of it, but it's a small little cave, and you can go in there and sit on the concrete. It was very hot in there. It's already, scorching hot out here, but the way that it was kind of enclosed with a small entrance, it was especially just kind of muggy and felt a little bit like a meditation oven. But I'm going to head back down to town. I was, planning and wanting to like hike all over here. There was another, rock path like this going off to the right from that cave, but with all of these dogs around and the monkeys, I just don't, feel like trying to have a peaceful walk and end up throwing rocks at dogs and stuff like that. That's no fun. So I'm going to walk back into town and go to the main temple there. Man, oh man. Well, it's colorful at least. And so I'm back where I started this video, and I'm going to walk around the temple, which encompasses this massive square. And the main entrance is the other side, so then I will try to go in. I didn't do any research before coming here, just what I'd heard about it. Pardon the noise. So I don't know what the deal is exactly with going inside, if you have to pay, if like non-Hindus are allowed or not, but I think probably I can go inside. Then there's the issue of whether I'm dressed appropriately or not, so we'll see about that. Hello! And then here is another side of the temple that sort of mellows out a little bit here at least. And so this is an entrance into the temple. The other thing is I'm not sure if I can film in there or not, so I'm gonna find out what's gonna happen here. Hello. Ah, okay. So that didn't work out. Shorts are not allowed. I guess the shirt was fine, but gotta wear long pants. So I don't know if I'm gonna try to go back in again later. But for now, I'm going to go back to my room, get out of this heat, find something cold to drink, and I'll see, maybe come back here a little later. My hotel is very close by, so it's easy just to come back by, but I will also show the other side of the temple around the other corner up ahead. Check out the awesome truck. Wow, this is a classic. Too bad the truckers in America don't have such colorful taste. This is epic. So this is the main entrance into the temple, it looks like. Definitely some interesting smells here, including some nice ones. Hello. Your name?
Basha.
Bashar.
Basha.
Badusa.
Basha.
Sweet. Yeah, jalebi. Yeah, Mysore pak. Sweet. Badusa.
Badusa. In Mysore.
Right.
Mysore. Cool. Okay.
Badusa.
Thank you. Okay. Namaste. Acha.
Oh, ma'am. Hari.
Pari?
Nari.
Lali.
Nari.
Okay. Cool. Gabriel. Okay. Thank you. Dhanyavad. And so there's the mountain where I was just hiking up. As you can see, a busy scene here. And right up ahead here is the hotel where I'm staying. The Hotel Ganesh International Lodge and Hotel Connor Restaurant. And fortunately, it is a nice sanctuary of quiet after all this. And so that is the end of this video. I did not end up going back to see the temple. For one thing, then I ended up having yet another encounter with a dog walking back from the temple, in which this dog that was on the other side of the street there, as I was walking along, was barking at me aggressively. I had to sort of step into a shop and yell at it and get it to go away. And between that and the noise and just all the, attention of being one of the only foreigners around, and then also just, being tired out and it was a long day and all that, then I just didn't really feel like going out there once again after I'd headed back to my room and taken a shower and relaxed and was working on the computer and stuff. So sorry about that, not getting to see the inside of the temple. It was a bummer for me as well, because I would have been very curious to see it. It was such a massive complex. I'm sure it was really fascinating, but I planned to leave the next day, and it just didn't happen. So, I've seen lots of amazing temples in India. I can certainly imagine what it was like, but that's just the way it goes in India, is that sometimes you're just like, okay, this is too much, I'm out of here. And so that is the reality of India, for better and for worse. As you can see, it is fascinating, it is strange, unique, it is like nowhere else. The things and the people that you see, just life on the streets in general, is so, totally different from, small town California here. It is certainly a lot more interesting, but it is also much more intense and just kind of a constant barrage of sensory input and experiences that you have to respond to, manage, deal with, tackle, navigate, etc. So if you're planning to go to India, then be aware that there are many sides to the country. There is the, tropical paradise of Goa and hanging out on the beach and great restaurants and meeting other travelers and stuff like that. And then there is the flip side of, just the intensity, the smells, the constant noise, the honking of horns, all of the animals that you see in the course of just walking down a street, the dogs, the monkeys, the pigs, the cows, possibly elephants, horses. You just don't know what the heck you're going to see, which is, you know, what makes India so amazing to visit. But it is also definitely a challenge. As soon as you step out of your door there, then it is like this weird video game that you jump into, in which you have to, you know, go through all these weird challenges and strange experiences that you have to deal with just to get from point A to point B, whatever you're trying to do for that day. And so it is definitely a very rewarding place to travel, but also a very challenging place to be and experience. And so, just so you know, there are definitely many sides to India, both beautiful, good, bad, and ugly. All right, thanks for watching. See ya. Lots more coming from, I guess, California. We'll see where I end up going here as far as doing some adventures, maybe some more hiking around, go to the coast, something like that. And then as for where I'm going next, I have no idea. We shall see. All right, take it easy.